Welcome to the Robertson County High School Football Show with your hosts, Robertson County Connection sports reporter David Wilson and Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. The Robertson County High School Football Show is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Thomas Drugs. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment is your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs. Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, here are David Wilson and Brady McAtamney.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Robertson County Football Show. My name is David Wilson, sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection, joined as always by Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. Here to break down week 4 of high school football in the Robertson County area. Brady, how you doing?
Doing good, man. I know you and I are both feeling good because our NFL teams are coming off wins. I know we're feeling good because we got another beautiful week here in Middle Tennessee, preparing for football, preparing for sports, and can't get better, right?
Yeah, your Lions are 1-0. My Packers are 1-0. We'll have a little duel here in a couple weeks. So I don't know if I'll invite you on to do the show then. So might have to find somebody else. But for now, Brady, you're feel free. Thank you as always for joining us. You've been fantastic helping me out doing this. So let's dive right into the action. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with those Yellow Jackets who are coming off their big win over Station Camp. They beat the Bison 34-33. As always, our Springfield High School football segment is brought to you by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. They are a one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Stop by and see their inventory or give them a call at 615-384-7660. Man, that win was much needed for Dustin Wilson's Yellow Jackets on Friday night. How was Springfield able to pick up that home victory?
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Brady. It was really much needed after the last 2 weeks facing off against Clarksville and Henry County, just not being able to get it done on defense in those two games, really being dismantled by the opposing running game. So they came home this week to face a Station Camp team that was still looking for their first win under a first-year head coach. So it was really setting up for Dustin Wilson's group to have a bounce-back performance in week 4. And, they did that through 3 quarters. And Station Camp made this one tight really late. It came down to a last-second interception by Allen Dickerson on a 2-point conversion with no time remaining to give the Yellow Jackets the win in the MyTV 30 game of the week. But it was a great contest, really back and forth late in that game. The story was Clarence Cobbins for Springfield. I mentioned him last week in my pick'em column, and I said Springfield has to find a way to get that young man the football, the senior two-way player. He's a wide receiver, defensive back. He returns kicks. He really does it all for that group, and he's so talented and dynamic when he has his hands on the football. And Cobbins proved me right last Friday night. He had 259 all-purpose yards for the Yellow Jackets. He had a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He returned 4 kicks on Friday night for 220 yards. So he's really dynamic and explosive with his speed and athleticism to get around the edge. He also had 2 interceptions on defense. The first one set up the Yellow Jackets offense with goal to go. He returned it inside the 4-yard line. So he had 4 tackles, 2 pass breakups, really made his presence felt on the defensive side of the football. He had 2 catches for 16 yards and a touchdown on offense. He also had 5 carries for 23 yards. So look for Springfield to continue to try to get Cobbins the football. Like I said, he's so dynamic in what he can do. Parker Betts had to play both ways for the Yellow Jackets on Friday night. They're facing some injury bugs and some, injuries on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. So we'll see how that does for them moving forward as they face Centennial this week. But Betts was 4 of 6 passing on Friday night. They didn't ask him to do a lot. He did have that touchdown pass to Cobbins, and he also had a rushing touchdown. He had 11 rushes for 48 yards on the ground, just 29 passing yards. So looking for that junior quarterback to continue to grow into the system. They didn't ask him to do too much, and Springfield was able to pick up the win this week. And it's dramatic how the outlook of your season changes when you're 2-2 heading into Centennial instead of 1-3. That is going to be extremely tough road game this week for the Yellow Jackets. We'll preview that here shortly, but it's nice to be 2-2 if you're Dustin Wilson with a young football team that's still learning to grow heading into week 5.
No doubt. Looking at Greenbrier, the Bobcats are coming off an unfortunate 37-0 loss against Marshall County. Our Greenbrier High School football segment is brought to you by Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or are interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Visit their branch in Greenbrier or give them a call at 615-847-4043. David, it was another disappointing performance for Greenbrier on Friday night. Are you getting worried about their playoff hopes?
I'm not pressing the alarm button just yet, but I am a little concerned about John Elmore's group. They're 1-3 to start the year, but the 1-1 region record, they were to pick up a region win over Whites Creek for their first win. Last week, they lost to Marshall County, who's really one of the preseason favorites in Region 5-4A, along with Procone. So those two teams are clearly the best two teams in that region. So I'm not going to sound the panic button just yet, but I am concerned about just the inability to get things going offensively. They've only scored as max of 20 points. So the most points they've scored this year in a game is about 20 points. So I'm looking for a little bit more dynamic and athleticism and playmaking ability on the offensive side of the football. When you have seniors of Nolan Carson and Travaris Flood, I thought they would be able to put a little more points on the scoreboard with Nate Castleman at wide receiver as well. So I'm concerned. I think that they need to improve on really both sides of the football. The defense has really helped them in the first game against Springfield and then against Whites Creek as well, but they've also given up points in bunches to Portland and Marshall County. So it's been a kind of a mixed bag for that defense. So they're like Springfield, are going to have to get healthy. They've had some injuries, particularly on the offensive line. So protecting the quarterback has been an issue for them. So just looking to see if they can get some consistency moving forward. They have a prime opportunity to bounce back this week, just like Springfield did last week. Greenbrier will go on the road to face Station Camp, who's still looking for their first win. So can Greenbrier get it done this week? We'll see. But I'm not panicked yet, but I am concerned about the Bobcats and John Elmore.
Concerned but not panic. Well put. Moving on to White House Heritage. The Patriots picked up a win over Cheatham County, 21-14. Our White House Heritage High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. David, Scott Murray's Patriots picked up their first region win of the year over Cheatham County. What is the ceiling for this Heritage team?
Yeah, they're off to a 3-1 start, as I mentioned several times in my columns and on the show. They've already eclipsed their win total from last year. They were 1-9 last year. They're already 3-1 and picked up their first region win last week against Cheatham County. This one's a lot closer than the so-called experts, if we like to call myself that. Closer than we thought it would be. This Cheatham County team really hung in there throughout 4 quarters and was able to keep this one tight all the way down to the wire, really, of that 21-14 final. Xavier Murray was able to do just enough offensively. He was 10 of 11 passing for 145 yards and a touchdown. He had a long bomb to Eric Lopez, who's really his go-to wide receiver on that offense. It was a 47-yard strike to really push Heritage ahead and, give them some comfortability early on. But, Cheatham County came storming back late in the second half. Adrian Bonilla was a story yet again for Heritage on the ground game. He had 15 carries for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. What's the ceiling for this team? As I look at their schedule, there are more wins to be had on their schedule. When I look at it, they face Forest this weekend, who's 3-1. We'll preview that matchup later on. That's really going to be a toss-up game. Forest is off to a great start. As I said, they're winners of 3 of their first 4. That is a game that White House Heritage, if they play to their best ability, take care of the football, focus. Scott Murray mentioned last week it was homecoming, out there at White House said, his guys weren't really dialed in and focused, and he was concerned heading into that matchup against Cheatham County. Can they refocus this week going on the road for just the second time this year? If they do that, they have a prime opportunity to pick up their 4th win this year. And then moving forward, they'll face a Greenbrier team that has struggled to date. They're 1-3. They'll face Stewart County, who has not won a football game yet. Then you're getting to the back half of your schedule. Your last 2 games are against East Robertson. It's going to be a challenge. And then you're facing Fairview as well. So there are wins to be had on this White House Heritage schedule. They can really, truly be contenders in their region. And Scott Murray told me that, as I mentioned in my article after the postgame, that he really thought and believed that they could be contenders in their region. And they have proven that to this point. Can they do it moving forward? It all depends on the play of their freshman quarterback and Xavier Murray. Their defense has been really opportunistic to this point of the year. They forced 4 turnovers on Friday night. They've been forcing turnovers all year long. So if they can continue to run the football, which is going to be the identity of that football team, Scott Murray was proud of the effort that his offensive line gave against Cheatham County. And if they can continue to just make enough plays on defense, turn people over when needed, then they have a lot of room to grow. And the ceiling is very high up in White House for that Heritage group under a first-year head coach.
Yeah, and of course, the primary team they're going to be contending within that region is East Robertson. The Indians coming off a 49-26 win at Sycamore. Our East Robertson High School football segment is brought to you by Thomas Drugs in Cross Plains. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson County community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. David, East Robertson is perfect to start the year, highlighted by 3 road wins in the first 4 weeks. How can the opening portion of their schedule prepare them for the postseason?
Yeah, it's so extremely vital and important when you're able through the first 4 weeks of the year to take your team on the road 3 times, traveling to Liberty Creek, traveling to Monterey, traveling to Sycamore, and to just get familiar with a different road environment, be able to take your team into a hostile territory and able to squeak out wins. And that's what Chase Brooks' team has done. And they haven't been squeaking out wins. They've really been dominating on both sides of the football the entire year. So it's so vital. This team has hopes and aspirations to make it past last year's TSSA quarterfinal appearance. They have hopes to make it to Chattanooga and compete for a state championship, and they have all the talent in the world to do that. This past week, facing against Sycamore, Isaiah Groves was the story yet again. We've been calling his name multiple times throughout the year. He's been our player of the week for the Robertson County area twice. He had 19 carries for 241 yards and 4 touchdowns on Friday night. His brother Elijah did it once again on both sides of the ball. He had 3 catches for 73 yards on offense. He had 6 tackles, 2 for a loss, and 1 sack on the defense. So the East Robertson continues to get it done. They're perfect to start the year. And, the back half of their schedule, kind of like we just talked about with White House Heritage, really suits East Robertson to maybe have a perfect regular season. They only have 1 game for the rest of the year on the road. That's a trip to Westmoreland later in the calendar. Everything else is right at home in Cross Plains. They'll face Joe Burns this week. That's going to be a challenge for the rivalry, with the rivalry game on the line. We know Justin Robinson will have his group prepared and ready to go. Another opportunity for them as the Red Devils to get in there and to try to improve and get better. East Robertson, as I mentioned, will face White House Heritage later in the year. I'm really circling a matchup a week from now when they face off against Smith County. That's really a game to watch moving forward. But East Robertson has all the talent and all the potential to have a perfect regular season, something that they've been looking forward to, something that they've challenged themselves with. They're going to take it week by week. Like White House Heritage, they have a freshman quarterback in Kason Young. He's really performed well to start the year. They've just asked him, kind of like with Heritage has asked with Xavier Murray, just to do enough. Get your hands on the ball, your offensive playmakers. Trust on an experienced offensive line and a really dynamic running game. Elijah Groves, Caleb McNeil, they can hurt you in so many different ways. They can run in between the tackles, and they can also get around the edge. So smash and dash, as the Titans used to say with Lindell White and Chris Johnson. That's what they have in Cross Plains as well with McNeil and Groves. So that East Robertson offensive line, I'm going to continue to give them praise. They are able to do it week in and week out and get their running backs into the secondary. So Chase Brooks has done a great job. He's just in his second year there, and he's just really turned that program around. Look for them to continue to do that this week. We'll preview their matchup with Joe Burns, as I mentioned a little later on. But they have all the abilities to be a championship team. in Class A.
David, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we will talk about Joe Burns and White House.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Wrap-Up Show. My name is Brady McTammy, the sports editor at Main Street, Clarksville. There's David Wilson, the sports reporter in the Robertson County Connection. We're going to talk about the Joe Burns Red Devil, who are coming off a 35-6 loss against Gordonsville. Our Joe Burns High School football segment is brought to you by Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. Give them a call today at 615-384-3836. Joe Burns lost to Gordonsville on Friday, marks back-to-back frustrating losses for the Red Devils. How can they improve moving forward?
Yeah, they got to start getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. That's something that head coach Justin Robinson mentioned to me after their really frustrating loss to Gordonsville on Friday night. They lost by a final score of 35-6. He mentioned to me prior to the game that that's really one of the most important games on their schedule. It was the first region game under a new regime out there in Cedar Hill. Justin Robinson's first district game as the Joe Burns head coach. They were really looking forward to getting off to a good start. Obviously, it did not end the way they wanted to. And as I mentioned, he said they got to get off the field on 3rd and 4th down. Got to be able to take care of the football offensively. They've had some injury issues on the offensive side of the ball. Quarterback Amari Cotton was down a few weeks ago when they traveled to Whitwell against, a talented team down there in the Chattanooga area. So they got to get healthy on both sides of the ball. I'm not giving up on this group just yet. I was able to watch them in the preseason, and, Amari Cotton has the ability to really lead this offense. It's new for him. He's a first-year starter, even though he's a junior quarterback. They had the luxury of Taylor Head at the quarterback position the last couple of years. So I'm not giving up on them just yet. Amari Cotton, as I mentioned several times on this show and in the paper, he has really the ability to be a dual threat quarterback for the Red Devils. He can hurt you with his arm, and he can hurt you with his legs. So there's nothing prettier than a lefty swing quarterback slinging the football down the field. So he has all the arm strength to do it as well. He can really push the ball down the field. He has wide receiver Reed Blumel to do that too. He also had Malachi Rivera at the running back position, who had the only touchdown for Joe Burns this past week. So I'm not sounding the alarm, kind of like with Greenbrier just yet for the group up there in Cedar Hill. But I want to see them improve on both sides of the ball. As a Class A school, they have guys playing both sides of the football. So they're going to wear down offensively and defensively if they're playing too many snaps. So injury issues kind of do concern me, but I'm not giving up just yet. They have a tough matchup this week against East Robertson, but, only having one district game on the resume so far, it's not enough to just hit the full-on panic button up there for Justin Robinson and that group.
Yeah, and last but certainly not least, the White House Blue Devils coming off a 24-7 win against Whites Creek. Our White House High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One is everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. Springfield continued its perfect start to the season on Friday night. How have the Blue Devils been so successful to this point?
Yeah, there's no secret about what Ryan Hamilton's group likes to do on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Offensively, they're smash mouth. I mentioned the Tennessee Titans earlier in the past with Lindell White and Chris Johnson. They were smash and dash. Well, today's era of Titans football is smash mouth with Derrick Henry, and that's really what the White House Blue Devils like to do with running back Michael Albin. He had 156 rushing yards this past week and 2 touchdowns for the Blue Devils in their win over Whites Creek. They're really old school. They like to play football in a phone booth, as I mentioned weeks past, like the 80s and 90s NFL. They like to get down in the I formation and run the football. And then after they suck in your linebackers, suck in your safeties, and put a lot of people in the box, they like to hit you over top with the play action pass. So Tanner Hayes has been able to do just enough at the quarterback position. They haven't asked him to go out and throw for 400 yards a game. They've just really asked him to manage the game, put them in easy second and third down positions, and been able to continue to run the football and then hit his playmakers on the outside with the play action pass. Hayes had a touchdown pass this past week to Jackson Rourke for a 7-yard score to really help White House get things going offensively. And then defensively, they've been able to get after the quarterback. You know, they had 5 sacks this past week. They've been able to force some turnovers. So they've been really stingy with allowing opposing offenses to get things going. They've really only had one bad half of football this entire year through the first 4 weeks. It came in the second half against Liberty Creek when the Wolves came storming back in week 2 versus the Blue Devils. But that defense has really been the story for Ryan Hamilton and group. And then offensively being able to run the football and kind of play a old school kind of game. So their first real true challenge of the year comes this week. They'll welcome in Marshall County, who's, as I mentioned, along with Pearl-Cohn, one of the preseason favorites in 4A in that region. So it'll be interesting to see. That'll definitely be a game to watch in Robertson County moving forward. So we'll see what that looks like for Ryan Hamilton's group. But they're off to a 4-0 start, something that's really obviously you got to be proud of that group, and they're looking to continue to build on that moving forward.
We're going to take our second break of the show. When we come back, David is going to preview each of the upcoming games in Robertson County this week.
Whether you've set personal goals or just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of Echo Power equipment and a full line of Bad Boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today. If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today. Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Wrap-Up Show. I'm Brady McTamney, sports editor at Main Street, Clarksville. That is David Wilson, the sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection. And David, it's time to preview the upcoming games for Week 5. What are we looking at this week?
Yeah, let's start off with John Elmore's Bobcats. They take the road trip to Gallatin to face the Station Camp Bison this week. Greenbrier 1-3 on the year, their only win against Whites Creek 2 weeks ago. Station Camp under a first-year head coach, still looking for their first win of the year. They are 0-4. They fell to Robertson County School Springfield last week in a really disappointing loss for the Bison. They had the opportunity to go for the winning two-point conversion with no time remaining in the MyTV Game 30 of the week. Alan Dickerson for Springfield got the interception to seal that one. So Station Camp lost last week to Springfield by a final score of 34-33. So the Bison will look to get their first win of the year this week at home against Greenbrier. The real question in this matchup is the quarterback situation for Station Camp. Their starting quarterback got injured in the first half last week at Springfield, and they had to put in a freshman quarterback who really played well down the stretch in the second half and really gave them an opportunity to steal one late at Springfield. So who will we see at the quarterback position for the Bison? That has all the potential to be the really difference in this game. I think this one's going to be a really tight one. Both teams really need this one as we head into Week 5 in the halfway point of the regular season. So this game can really make the difference in a team season. Obviously, if you're Greenbrier, if you can win this game, you're 2-3, and you pick up yet another win in region play, and you go to 2-1. So the outlook of your season really changes if you can pick up this win. And then same thing for Station Camp. Just trying to find something positive to start the year and pick up the first win. So that's one we'll have our eye on here in the Robertson County area. Moving forward, we got Springfield traveling to Centennial to face a first-year head coach down there for the Cougars, Jamal Stewart, longtime head coach at East Nashville. He's now in his first year at Centennial. They're 4-0 and off to a great start. I mentioned earlier as well how the outlook of a season changes if you're Dustin Wilson's group. If you're heading into this really difficult road contest at 1-3 compared to 2-2 that you are. So it was really vital and huge for Springfield to pick up that win last week and hold on against Station Camp. They'll be 2-2 heading up to that matchup down in Franklin. They'll try to find a way this week. It's not going to be easy. You know, Centennial poses a lot of matchup problems for a banged up Springfield team. So we'll have our eye on that one as well. Moving forward, White House Heritage goes on the road for just the second time this year. They'll travel down to Chapel Hill to face the Forest Rockets, who, like the Patriots, are 3-1 on the year. They picked up a win last week against Cannon County. So this one has the matchup and the odds to be a toss-up game. So this game can go either way. I had a really hard time predicting this one on my pick'em column, but when in doubt, I'm going to keep rolling with Scott Murray and his Patriots. So this one will be really tight. I mentioned in my column that I really expect quarterback Xavier Murray to find Eric Lopez is his go-to wide receiver on the offensive end for a late touchdown to just put the Patriots past the homestanding Rockets this week. And that will put them, in my opinion, to 4-1. And, they have all the opportunities to keep on stacking up wins after their just one-win performance a year ago. Moving forward, White House, a game. This is going to be my runner-up, my honorable mention to my game of the week. They face off against the Marshall County Tigers. White House 4-0 on the year. Marshall County 3-1. They just picked up the win last week in the Robertson County area against Greenbrier, and then obviously White House picking up the win over Whites Creek. This one's going to be a tough physical matchup. Marshall County is really talented, and as I mentioned several times over the last couple of weeks, White House, they're an old-school football team. They're going to line up and run the football down your throat, and they're going to play good, solid defense and not let you get over top of them. So if White House can pull the upset this week, and I still think it would be, despite their perfect record, this will say a lot about Ryan Hamilton's group and the possibilities of them really competing in Region 5-4A. So this is one that I really am keeping my eye on. Something that I mentioned earlier is Greenbrier and Station Camp. I forgot to mention that most likely that Blaine Keller is going to be in attendance for that one. So he will have you guys covered for that matchup. And then my game of the week is the one that I will be at. It is Joe Burns heading off to East Robertson to face the Indians out there in Cross Plains. That's a game I've really been looking forward to, a game I circled on my preseason watch list of games to watch. What can first-year Joe Burns head coach Justin Robinson do on the road against a really talented and hungry East Robertson bunch led by Chase Brooks? Obviously, East Robertson has Elijah Groves, they have Caleb McNeil, they have Kason Young, they have so many guys on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. You got Dallas Caffrey on defense, Wyatt Pearson, Zach Groves. So talent is plentiful up in Cross Plains. What can the Red Devils do on the road? It's going to have to be Amari Cotton hurting them with his arms and his legs. As I mentioned several times, getting the ball in the hands of all-region wide receiver Reed Blumel, all-region running back, and really linebacker Malachi Rivera. So that one is going to be really exciting and entertaining in Cross Plains. That'll be my first trip up there for a regular season football game. I was fortunate enough to get up there for a preseason game, so I'm excited about the atmosphere. There's nothing better than a good old Robertson County rivalry in Week 5.
Good stuff. Let's take our final break of the show, and when we come back, you will give us your player of the week after we got your game of the week.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of Echo Power equipment and a full line of bad boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Wrap-Up Show, and there's only one thing we got left to talk about here. It's what folks have been waiting for. David, is it going to be Groves of the Week?
Yeah, it has been for the first 3 weeks of the year, but I'm going to give him honorable mention this week. I want to shout out his stat line once again. Isaiah Groves is going to be our honorable mention for Player of the Week. Had yet another monster week for the East Robertson offense. 19 carries for 241 yards and 4 touchdowns in their win over Sycamore on the road. But I'm going to give Player of the Week award to a team that really needed a win this week, and that was the Springfield Yellow Jackets, and it's going to go to the star two-way player for Springfield, and that's Clarence Cobbins. He had 259 all-purpose yards for Dustin Wilson on Friday in their win over Station Camp. He had a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He had 4 kick or punt returns for 220 yards. So he's really able to flip field position for Springfield. He had an interception that took them inside the 5-yard line, and then he had another interception late in the game. So 2 interceptions total. He had 2 pass breakups, 4 tackles. He also had a receiving touchdown to go on that stat line, and he had 5 carries for 23 yards. So he was able to do it in all 3 phases. Really was the difference maker in that game on Friday night for Springfield, as I mentioned several times throughout the year. Good things happen when they find a way to get him the football, and they was able to do that on Friday night. So Clarence Cobbins of Springfield, the senior two-way star, he is our Player of the Week for week 4 in the Robertson County area. That'll do it for our Robertson County football show. For Brady and McAtamney, I am David Wilson. We look forward to seeing you out on the field this week. A lot of great matchups in the Montgomery County and Robertson County area, so we're looking forward to seeing you there.
You've been watching the Robertson County High School Football Show with Robertson County Connection sports reporter David Wilson and Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. Read this week's Robertson County Connection for all the latest news about Robertson County High School sports. The Robertson County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Springfield Carpet One, Thomas Drugs, Old Hickory Credit Union, Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment, Select Physical Therapy in Springfield, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Robertson County football.